Apples! Fresh apples! Get your apples here!
Imagine waking up somewhere where the air smells like a mix of rot, smoke, and mystery liquids you hope aren't yours. Where rats run your bedroom, fleas are personal trainers, and breakfast could literally kill you. Welcome to a medieval city, a place where surviving 24 hours feels like playing a high-stakes video game without a reset button. Today, we're throwing you straight into the nightmare. 24 hours in a medieval city, and spoiler alert, most people wouldn't make it past sunrise. Medieval cities weren't quaint cobblestone streets with cute inns and charming markets like in the movies. They were living, breathing nightmares, smelling terrible, crowded to insanity, full of disease, and completely unpredictable. From dawn to dusk, every moment was a gamble. Even the luxuries of medieval life, if you could call them that, came with a side of death, rats, or humiliation. By the end of this video, you'll see why surviving a single day here required luck, grit, and a very strong stomach. You wake up, or maybe you're jerked awake, by a furry intruder gnawing at your toes. Fleas, lice, and who knows what else are partying in your hair like you're hosting the world's worst sleepover. Your bed is a patchwork of old straw, rags, and the occasional rodent, all sharing your sleeping space. Think you're the top predator here? Nope. You're just part of the food chain. You scratch, squirm, and try to wake your neighbor, but he's busy arguing with a rat about who gets the blanket. Sounds funny? Not when you realize the rat has won most of these battles over the centuries. And don't even think about privacy. Walls are thin, doors are paper-thin wooden planks, and every neighborly scream, cough, or fart is part of your morning symphony. You finally get up, stretch, and try to steady yourself. But the floor is sticky, the walls smell faintly of last week's stew, and a fly has claimed your ear as its morning perch. Surviving the first 10 minutes without itching yourself into a frenzy already marks you as more resilient than most modern humans could ever be. Stepping outside, you think, fresh air. Ha, wrong. Open sewers run down the streets, pigs waddle freely, and smoke from 100 chimneys creates a gray, choking haze. The stench hits your brain like a medieval wake-up call. You are officially in the death zone. Even breathing is a gamble. Every inhale brings bacteria, ash, and maybe a mystery liquid from last night's tavern adventure. You instinctively cover your mouth, but the smell isn't just unpleasant. It's everywhere, clinging to clothes, skin, and hair. People in medieval cities became experts at tolerating stench, not because they had to, but because there was no escape. And don't think high society avoids this. Nobles live in slightly fancier buildings, sure, but the streets are the arteries of the city. Every trip outside risks infection, filth, or being hit by a horse cart. Welcome to medieval air quality, worse than any modern pollution, and with a 90% chance of making you gag. You spot something resembling food, bread and water. It looks safe, but safety is a medieval myth. The bread is likely made from contaminated flour and could have little guests like weevils or mouse droppings. And the water, well, let's hope your stomach is stronger than your courage. Breakfast is not just a meal. It's a lottery. You never really know what you're consuming. Rabbits were considered a delicacy, squirrels were common, and rats occasionally made their way into stew, accidentally or sometimes intentionally. Asking what's in your food can be dangerous, not because the chef will attack you, but because your appetite might vanish instantly, leaving you hungry in a city where hunger can quickly kill. Meanwhile, local children dart past, stealing bread from vendors or chasing rats, reminding you that in medieval cities, everyone is competing for survival, even the smallest citizens. If you manage to eat without vomiting or being pickpocketed, you've already earned your first victory of the day. The streets are pure chaos. Kids scream and dart in every direction. Pigs, goats, and chickens have territorial disputes with humans. Merchants shout over each other, selling questionable meat and foul-smelling cheese. Carts collide, spilling flour, ashes, or worse, and you are trapped in this whirlwind like a human pinball. Dodging these hazards isn't just skill, it's an art form. Every misstep risks injury or disease. Pickpockets lurk in every corner. If you sneeze, bump into someone, or spill their goods, be prepared for a medieval scolding. Or worse. Crowd etiquette? Forget it. It's a law of survival. Move fast, keep your eyes sharp, and hope the pigs don't charge. You might think it's stressful, but locals are unfazed. They've trained their reflexes since birth. For you, it's pure sensory overload. Even a minor scrape could become infected. Even a small slip could land you in a sewer. Every step is a gamble. So, you caught something. Or maybe you just feel a headache creeping in. Perfect time for a visit to the local doctor. His tools: rusty knives, unsterilized implements, and herbs that may or may not be poisonous. Bloodletting? Definitely. Leech therapy? Possibly. A pinch of arsenic? For luck. Could be. Modern medicine is fantasy. And anesthesia? Ha-ha. Try screaming while someone removes a tooth with pliers. You leave either cured or famous as the person who survived despite the odds. Hospitals are little better. Crowded, smelly, and dangerous, they're as much a threat as disease. Contagion spreads like wildfire, and sanitation is an afterthought. Medieval medicine was not about care. It was about chance, confidence, and hope. The line between doctor and executioner was laughably thin. Your house is basically a fire hazard wrapped in filth. Floors are dirt, walls are paper-thin wood, and roofs leak with every rainstorm. Rats and mice treat your possessions like toys. Smoke from indoor fires fills every room because cooking indoors is necessary and deadly at the same time. Privacy? Ha. Comfort? Non-existent. Beds are scratchy, blankets are shared, and winter isn't a season. It's an endurance test. Medieval people slept layered in rags, in rooms barely warmer than the outdoors. You might think your apartment is small, but try surviving months in a one-room hovel with a family of 8, 2 goats, and a neighbor who snores like a troll. Survival here requires mental toughness, careful fire management, and acceptance of constant filth. Your modern standards of home would crumble in hours. Jobs? If you're lucky, you have one. Blacksmiths inhale smoke while hammering glowing metal. Bakers sweat in ovens hotter than your car engine. Laborers lift heavy objects while dodging carts, mud, and the occasional weapon-wielding rival. Every profession is literally life-threatening. One slip, one wrong move, one bad day could mean infection, injury, or death. There's no HR to complain to, no sick days, no insurance. Survival depended on skill, stamina, and nerves of steel. Every trade was a game of endurance, and every medieval worker was a hero simply for waking up in the morning. The streets are violent, unpredictable, and utterly chaotic. Arguments could escalate into stabbings. Guards sometimes act worse than the criminals. Children steal. Street performers dodge attacks. Pickpockets and opportunists lie in wait at every corner. Trust is rare, suspicion is necessary, and self-preservation is a daily ritual. Modern stress seems laughable when every glance, word, or stumble could cost you your life. Violence wasn't exceptional. It was ordinary. Surviving a day meant being alert, cautious, and ready to run, fight, or bribe at any moment. Fresh food? Rare? Spoiled food? Normal. Cooking indoors? Smoke hazard? Winter? Freeze hazard? Summer? Heat stroke hazard. Every day is a survival challenge, a perfect storm of temperature, disease, hunger, and exhaustion. You eat, shiver, and pray. Fires are dangerous but necessary. Water could be poison. Food could be death. Every day requires constant problem-solving, adaptability, and vigilance. Medieval people weren't just surviving. They were professionals in chaos management. Physical danger isn't even the worst part. It's the mental toll. Constant noise, filth, fear, and hopelessness eat away at your sanity. Every day, every step, every meal, every conversation is a challenge. Medieval citizens were mentally tough, hardened by experience. Modern humans would crumble under a week of this life. Surviving wasn't just about brawn, it was brains, courage, and a little luck. Every day is a test, every night a small victory, and the psychological horror? That was constant. After 24 hours, if you're alive, congratulations. You've experienced what most people in the medieval city endured every day. Filth, chaos, danger, disease, and sheer unpredictability. It wasn't just life, it was a survival gauntlet. So next time you complain about slow Wi-Fi, a long commute, or a Monday morning, remember, medieval citizens faced constant threats that modern humans can't even imagine. If you survived this video without flinching, hit like, subscribe, and share, because surviving medieval reality is more impressive than you think.